cry. Wanna cry.
Just 2 weeks remain as we finally break a month-long hiatus to find that Steve Singer still has this championship fully within his grasp. That said, as Scar kicks off a week of California on this channel, can he hang on or might he falter and give Mark Truxell a chance at the championship? Hello and welcome to PitStop TV. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Devin Zimmerman alongside this evening. And Devin, the Scar Grid Sports Car Championship wrapped up at Monza. Well, I say wrapped up at Monza. Wrapped up round 8 at Monza, to be specific, nearly a month ago. That said, a compounding list of penalties that just keeps getting longer and longer each week could not hold Steve Singer in that 6-car back. Do you think anything changes tonight at Laguna Seca?
It definitely well could be with the amount of penalties that Singer's going to be stacking up here. He's really going to have his work cut out for him to get that 5th win there. But he's in prime position to do that as he currently leads the points there. He's first in the points with 4 wins, and then Truxell right behind him kind of nipping at his tails. We got some good midfield battles in the point standings. Of course, some drivers who are kind of part-time, and they will be making up a lot of spots, as we do see quite a few of them are here tonight. So be ready to see some shakeup, especially in the mid-pack of these points as we get through the evening tonight and head into the championship race at Sonoma next week.
A lot's going to change in this series. I think that's the biggest thing to keep in mind here as we get on to round number 9. Let's take a look at the Laguna Seca. Well, I say the Laguna Seca. I'm used to saying the track name, you know, with a Motor Speedway at the end. No, this is one of those WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca kind of places. I really do love this racetrack. It's a great piece of asphalt here in Monterey, California. I know it says Salinas there at the bottom. Either one works. Let's take a look at it then from top down on our track map. It looks so simple, yet is so complicated, I think. It's a very, very technical circuit, and it certainly has a mix of some of the kind of Formula One, almost tilted kind of corners, a lot of those technical corners in the first sector, and even that last sector, Devin, but it does still have a lot of those kind of purebred American racetrack vibes, especially all the elevation changes. We were talking about it pre-broadcast. What are the, how far down again is it from the top of the corkscrew down to turn 10?
Yeah, so everybody's favorite corner here in the United States, I think every racing fan knows turn 8A and turn 8. It is called the corkscrew. It is a 5.5-story drop just in that one turn there, named the corkscrew. If you count Rainy Curve, which is turn 9, it is a full 10-story drops from the top of the corkscrew all the way down through Rainy Curve. But it is a wonderful lap. You got the long straightaway that's not really straight, but it is pretty much flat out all the way through turn number 1. That's just a little kink. Then you hit turn 2, which is a double apex left. They call it the Andretti hairpin. And then turns 3 and 4, some good right-handers, both almost fully 90-degree turns. And then we have turn 5, which is quick. A quick left-hander there, almost 90 degrees, a little kink in turn 6, and that sends you up the Ray Hall straight all the way uphill to the top of the famous corkscrew. You get through there, you go through Rainy Curve. You're going to be really battling the brakes through Rainy Curve as the elevation change can really sneak up on you for that turn. Then we finish out the lap with a couple of right and then a left in turns 10 and 11. You can really get a good exit out of 11. It sets up a great passing opportunity as you head into the next lap. So look for a lot of drivers to be doing that. Seems the passing zones here are the Andretti hairpin, turn 5 if you can make it, and turn 11.
Definitely a lot of great corners here at Laguna Seca, and I do want to direct everybody's attention over to the kind of track info column there on the track map graphic. If you look at fast laps, now there isn't a ton of information actually out there for lap records at Laguna Seca. You have to kind of dig for it a little bit. But one thing I noticed is the holder of the production car and electric car lap records here, at least per Laguna Seca and what I could find, they were both held by Randy Post, who I was at a racetrack with a little over 3 hours ago at Carolina Motorsports Park with the Lucky Dog Racing League, and we used to have their sim series on the channel, and maybe we work stuff out in the future. But Randy Post is one heck of a race car driver, and just for reference, he took a 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid around here at a minute 28.213. That is only 10 seconds off of the fastest time in practice so far set by Steve Singer, and is actually faster than Carson Conway's best time so far in practice. That is moving around here at Laguna Seca. Little factoid that I wanted to go ahead and point out. Enough of that, enough of the track. We'll talk more about that later on, but let's talk about the standings. We already kind of talked on this a little bit, Devin. This is a look at things fully. For the full top 20, Steve Singer, 26 points out ahead. Yeah, he's got those 4 wins, but Mark Truxell is not making it easy on him. Steve has to keep racing for it these next 2 weeks. He's got to keep on his toes, and, well, the problem with that is his left foot is a little bit injured. It's going to be a little tough to stay on his toes literally tonight.
Yeah, his toes, we've got information that the left foot is injured. He's going to be really trying to fight that brake pedal here where brakes are needed quite a bit. But yeah, he also has the black flag rules come into effect for him as well. So that's going to make things even harder for Singer to keep winning at the pace that he needs to stay in front. But yeah, we see Truxell there really nipping at the hills. Rose and Locke not too far behind there, so any slip up by the front two could really let these 2 guys behind them get into play. Then it kind of gets to the midfield pack where we see kind of a tight battle between Harger, Short, and Hewitt. They're all pretty close together there in the point standings and can make up some points. Should the one in front of them have a bad mistake tonight, which Laguna Seca can catch you out if you're not careful. And then we kind of get to the guys who are, have missed a couple races or have, haven't been here all season. One that stands to mind is that quick guy in the 54 there in 20th place. He's actually here tonight. A couple of the guys in front of him are not, so look for him to make a big push up the standings. Maybe try to challenge for a top 10. If not this week, then definitely next week as we round out the rest of the season.
Yeah, from 10th to 20th feels like it should be a really big separation after the season we've had, but it's only, 40 points, 35 points it looks like. It's not too crazy, and that can absolutely be made up by Cook Quick and even Neil Quick there in 17th, both of whom are here this evening. We do not have David Levine or Tim George or even Brandon Webb, who have run earlier on in the season. In fact, I was with 2 of them as well at Carolina Motorsports Park just a little while ago. David was actually the last one in the car. Finished the car for us at David Levine Racing. That was pretty fun. But anyways, back to this. I'm interested to see what Mark can do this evening with Steve battling a couple things. Now, he did just lead practice, but he is battling, the black flag, so I'll mention that in a second, but that foot injury, not being able to brake the way he's used to is going to change things up, whether he's still using that left foot or bringing the right foot over. He can do that. Auto Blip will allow him to get through the gears just fine with this car, but it is going to be a bit of a challenge. It's not going to be any kind of easy for Steve, that's for sure. And as far as the black flag rules, well, because he's got 4 wins in the season now, he can qualify in the session that's starting now, but does receive an EOL at the start of the race and starting the back half of the race. So just after our halfway break tonight, and we'll have to get an EOL and a pass-through for both. So both restarts. He is starting from the rear and has to come in the second lap and serve a drive-through penalty. That's crazy to me. And, I mean, what's crazier is he still battled back to have a great win last time out at Monza, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing here at Laguna Seca. Now, it would take a lot more things to go right for him, but it wouldn't surprise me. Here's a look at the schedule as we've seen it this season, Devin. Daytona opened things up. Barber was a lot of fun. Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, Watkins Glen, classic American road courses. Throw in the Canadian courses of Canadian Tire and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. A lot of great racetracks. Monza was really the only big detour from this very American schedule. Now at round 9 at Laguna Seca and Sonoma next week.
Yeah, great looking schedule that these guys have run so far, and then we're going to close it out here in the state of California. It's 2 really good racetracks. We've already talked enough about Laguna Seca. It is a wonderful track, but Sonoma itself is also a great track to finish out on. A lot of passing opportunities at both of these tracks if you can get it right, as we see the 54 kind of slide through the pits there. Not what you want to do in practice there, but at least it's practice. But yeah, it's a great racing to be had and close out this season here in the Superior Class Auto Racing Series.
We also have several new drivers in the field this evening. We'll kind of talk about them in a moment. Here's a look at Mark Thomas sporting one of those more modern Aston liveries, and that is just so good. That definitely gives you, obviously, Aston Martin Formula One vibes. A little bit different, I think, matching more with their kind of GT racing platform and paint schemes, but really good-looking Aston Martin there. Here's Brian Rose with the Popple number 89. Neil Quick is out there. He's actually not on the racetrack right now, so hopefully he gets out there soon. A look at Will Hewitt. Andrew Locke is back this evening. Good to see him sporting the grid by Sim Lab colors. Jesse King is back in the 25 car. And Dylan Wallace, a newcomer to the series. Let's go ahead and bring up your ticker as they fight through qualifying here. Steve Singer already has a lap in. But keep in mind, he cannot start from pole.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to have to drop to the back. We've said it before, but Kelly Blue there in second place, only about a second. Just a little over a second back from Singer, putting up some good times, trying to keep up. Also, Thomas there in the 50 car. He's putting in less than a 2-second lap there, but maybe some of these guys who haven't put a lap down yet would be able to catch up to Singer and maybe, make it really hard on him to get back through the field. We always have the not as big fields in the SCAR series, but they're definitely some hard racers. And they are going to be hard to pass, especially at a track where you can make it a little bit hard if you want to. But if you time it right, like I said, the passing opportunities can come, and they will be there.
So Kevin Blue currently second on the board. Singer goes a bit faster here as we work pretty deep into the session, actually. We don't have too many times on the board just yet. I'd imagine a lot of off-tracks already. Here's a look at Mark Thomas out of the UK. How about that for Mark? Would not expect that out of a somewhat late-night series for him, certainly. And it's even a little bit late on the East Coast. I mean, 9 p.m. is not at all late for me. I'm usually up quite a bit later. But to be starting a race for him at 2 in the morning, I mean, that's impressive for Mark. He's out there currently in the, drop down to the 4th position as Will Hewitt actually goes a bit quick. Brian Rose 5th, Andrew Locke currently in the 6th position. It's going to be an interesting night of racing. We'll go ahead and bring up the weather and see how things are looking for these guys. And it's not too crazy. 76 degrees in the air, call it 77 if you want. 79 degrees in the track. It's certainly the morning hours at Laguna Seca, which is going to help them, certainly, get through this day.
Yeah, very chill track temp should help the tires hang on for the majority of the stint. Again, they do have that halfway break. I assume that they're going to take tires. They normally do. But if they choose not to, the tires should be hanging on just fine. However, of course, the new tires will be a bit faster. Also, with the wind, wind can be really crazy here at Laguna Seca in California. You're right on the top of that peak going up to the corkscrew there. Can get very windy, upset the balance of the car, and you see a lot of people run into issues with the wind there. But with 2-mile-an-hour winds, nothing too crazy should be going on. And these guys should navigate this track pretty well. I mean, it is a challenging track all the same, but with the wind not being as strong, it should definitely help these guys out a little bit.
Here's an onboard with Dylan Wallace, and I like what you mentioned about the wind. I don't think it's going to be too big of an impact today, but we'll have to keep an eye on that, actually. The wind, 2 miles an hour for now. We'll see if that changes a little bit later on in the afternoon. Of course, 45 minutes of racing, plenty of time for the weather to change. And in California, if this sim is going to model anything realistically about the weather, it will change by the end of this 45-minute race, and certainly with a few minutes left of qualifying. Steve Singer still on top of the board, Kevin Blue second. Will Hewitt still third, so things holding tight up there on board with Dylan Wallace, one of the newcomers. And I do like this Red Bull Zebra Corvette livery. Quite nice.
Yeah, I've seen this one on the simulator quite a few times. A great looking livery there, the Red Bull Zebra stripes. Kind of a throwback to an F1 livery that was on the car not too long ago. I don't remember the exact year, but this was a livery that was kind of taken from that car, the F1 car, and that they used in a training session. I believe it was a winter training session. And yeah, they put it on different cars in iRacing. I actually used this on one of my cars just for fun. And yeah, it's a good looking livery.
He'll begin a flying lap here. That lap, whatever he just turned, did not count. It would have been a 123.7, but likely got an off track somewhere. So that's going to plague these guys throughout qualifying. One guy who has not been plagued just yet. Here's a look at Andrew Locke in car 23. He has just been so good this season, albeit faltering later on as the season has gone on. He was so good earlier on, got that win to begin things off, I want to say at Barber. and just has kind of dropped down since then. Looked really good at Lime Rock, had a couple issues, and just waiting for that 23 car to be right back into that kind of form. 10 cars now with times on the board, though, all the way back through the 721 of Jesse Redding. 14 cars in total. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, some pretty solid cars here tonight, and yeah, that's a good-looking grid car heading up to the corkscrew, and he's going to be coming down the banking there. Hits both turns pretty well. Gets a little bit of dust kick up on the exit of turn 8A, but all for all, great entry and exit of the corkscrew as we see the O2 go around here, and that's not what you want to do there in the Andretti hairpin.
No, but it's so easy to do, isn't it? Especially if you're trail braking the car and keep the nose loaded up. It can definitely do that. Or if you come off the brakes, I think just as quickly, you can go into that kind of spin. There's a look at Mark Trucks on the pit lane. Drops down to 10th, actually, as Dylan Wallace gets a good lap time in, goes up to 9th. There's Jesse King actually leaving the pit lane. Well, let's ride on board with this guy, Kevin Blue, somebody brand new to the series. There's 3 newcomers in this field tonight. Cook Quick and Neil Quick could still be counted as newcomers, but they at least have a race under their belt, whereas Kevin Blue, Mark Thompson, is it Mark Thompson? No, yeah, Mark Thomas, rather, and Dylan Wallace, they're all new drivers, so adding to the field nicely. I like these late season additions, going to spice things up a good little bit, but here's on board with Kevin Blue. I don't think we've taken an onboard through the corkscrew yet, so this should be a lot of fun to see how this Aston Martin navigates things.
Yes, definitely that blind crest, the blind apex into turn 8A. You got to hit it just right. Great entry and exit again from Blue there as he heads through Rainy Curve. Like, you be a little closer on the curve there. You don't want to get the sand on the exit, but overall keeps the speed up through that turn 10 as well. Gets over to the left. He's going to finish out the lap nicely. Yeah, good end of the lap there for Kelly Blue.
We'll see if Kevin can go any faster from 3rd. Does he improve on that lap time? No, not quite. Best lap was a 1:20.153. That lap was a 1:20.649. And we'll see if any changes are made. Andrew Locke just finished up a lap, so you should get a chance, actually, at one more. These guys should all get an opportunity to finish up their lap at the very least, and yes, they will. Andrew Locke going to have that benefit of just finishing up that lap time in time. Jesse King goes for a spin, so won't be able to, and Neil Quick comes across the line to wrap up a lap, so he cannot go. Well, he goes up to 3rd, though. That's going to stick nicely. He'll definitely be happy with that.
Yeah, good lap there from Quick. Really put the fire under that Aston on that lap. He gets up there only 1.2 off of Singer. Again, Singer's going to drop to the back, so looking at a front row start there for Quick.
Looking through the field a bit more, Neil Quick has gone rather fast, or rather quick, you could say. But the 54's counterpart, Cook Quick, has not gone as fast. Now, I love this name, Cook Quick. Just imagine for a second, Devin, being named Cook Quick. That is a heck of a racing name. I really like that, and, well, unfortunately for Cook, he's not going very quick tonight. That little run through 8A, going through the dirt at the bottom of the corkscrew, not going to help him very much.
No, you'll get the all-important X for the incident points of hitting the grass or sand there on the exit of 8A at the bottom of the corkscrew. That lap will therefore not count. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to set a lap, I don't think.
Wallace goes no faster.
Wallace goes no faster, so.
And same for McMullen. So the way they are listed there on the left side of the screen will remain, as McMullen cannot go any faster, and Cook Quick cannot get a time in. Now, Carson Conway is here, did not turn a lap. In fact, didn't even start a lap. So we'll see if he gets out there in the race. I would imagine so. I would certainly hope so. As we get ready to get on over to our race session. A lot of broadcasts coming up on PitStop TV, and we mentioned a little bit that we are looking at a week of California, or at least I think I have. I know I mentioned at the back end of the BSRTC show on Thursday. If we go ahead and bring up this graphic here. This is only a small taste. This is the kind of the meat of the sandwich, the cheese and the turkey and everything. We've got 2 Long Beach races with an Auto Club Speedway race in there, sandwiched by Laguna Seca and Sonoma. a lot of California racing, a lot of California dreaming, if you will, all that good stuff here on PitStop TV this week, Devin. And of course, you'll be right in the middle of that with the Outlaw Sim Series and Emerson Arden from Auto Club Speedway. It should be a lot of fun this entire week. We've got Laguna Seca, Long Beach, Auto Club, Long Beach, and Auto Club and Long Beach at the same time, with Sonoma finishing out the week. A lot of great stuff coming up here on the channel. Let's get down to the grid, though. We've got some 14 cars to work on through, with one of them, of course, going to the rear. Starting on pole, qualifying on pole. It is car number 6, rather. Steve Singer, looking so good, as per usual. We've come to expect that out of Steve, but he's got a couple of handicaps. We'll see if those affect him throughout the course of the race. Starting second there, and actually assuming the pole will be Andrew Locke. Starting from the 3rd spot, you'll find Neil Quick in car number 2. Kevin Blue, a newcomer, will start from 4th. It'll be Brian Rose qualifying 5th, moving up a spot into, actually 2 spots, moving up to 3rd for the start of this race. Will Hewitt will qualify and start from 6th. In row number 4, you'll find cars 50 and 25, Mark Thomas and Jesse King. Devin, that is just over the top half of your field.
Yep, and then in the 5th row, we're going to have Dylan Wallace there in the 14 car, and Mark Truxell trying to track down the leader in points there in 10th. Then behind them, Thomas Mullen in the 02 is going to be starting 11th, and then the 721 of Jesse Redding will be into his outside in 12th. And then the 13th, Carson Conway there in the 7-2 car, and then Cook Quick, who was unable to put down a lap time or a valid lap time there in the 14th position.
So the EOL for Steve Singer will actually force him to start from the pit lane, it looks like. So a little more than EOL. He'll have to hold there for a moment as well, as red lights are on, green flag is out, and we are racing at Laguna Seca. Carson Conway had a bit of an oops well back in the field, so he's going to take a while to get rolling. But the rest of your field, sans Steve Singer, gets through the first couple of corners nice and cleanly, through the Andretti hairpin and to turn number 3.
Yeah, great start for these drivers. No incidents into turn number 2, the Andretti hairpin, and it gets good and thinned out as we head in. A guy poking out there, but not able to make the pass there in the 3rd, looking for 2nd as we're going to head up the mountain now. We're going to go to the back of the Ray Hall straightaway up to the corkscrew now.
Love that compression in turn 6. That'll turn him up the Ray Hall straight, well up the hill, and it looks like already issues for Cook Quick. He is down in the pit lane, and I'm unsure as to how he got there so quickly, but well, it actually started from the pit lane as well. Regardless, we've got racing underway down the rainy curve for the first time. Andrew Locke still well in control, and this, I think, will be the theme throughout the start of today's show.
Yeah, he's got a big lead that he's pulled out there, and nobody's really catching him at the moment. I mean, after one lap, he has almost a 2.5 second lead on 2nd place. Of course, 2nd place has been under fire, and then it's finally taken there at the corkscrew, however, but he's still under fire from Rose behind him. It is Quick there in the 2 car, the other Quick. But big battles here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
The inside goes Brian Rose, looking for a spot on Mark Thomas. I think actually Brian Rose may be giving that spot up to Mark Thomas, interestingly enough, as Kevin Blue and Will Hewitt have a moment there to turn 4. They get things sorted. Will Hewitt will take the spot. Now Dylan Wallace is going to take a look here at car 26, and we'll try the outside for turn number 5. Corvettes versus Astons. We've seen a lot of Aston Martins in this series succeed. Not too many succeeding moments for the Corvette. And, you could do everything you want to get 2 cars even, but when you have 2 starkly different cars like the Aston Martin and the Corvette, you're going to have some problems getting them perfectly square with some fixed setups, and I think that's been part of it. I know they're very, very close setups, but maybe just favoring more of the drivers with this Aston Martin base.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. Not many Corvettes are able to keep up the way that the Astons are, especially in the turns. It seems like the Astons always have a little bit better middle to exit speed than the Corvettes are. The Corvettes, again, they're really heavy.
Whoa.
Oh, what's this?
Jesse Redding with a problem, and I don't think he was entirely alone. All right, I mean, that was very interesting to suddenly see that car backwards from Steve Singer's perspective. But let's go to the onboard then with Steve Singer and check his situation out. So as he comes to the line, this will update, but for now, Maybe it won't give us that graphics. Anyways, he is trailing Mark Truxell by some 18 seconds currently, and I would look for that to drop pretty quick.
Yeah, some issues there. It seems that they've run into. We're not really able to see what exit. Oh, there's a tire off of one of the Corvettes. He resets there. That's, I believe, turn 4 or turn 3, actually.
That was out of 4, I believe. We'll get a look at it here. Jesse King with an early issue. It was Jesse Redding that was spun around at the top of the hill. Here's a look at it for Jesse King. Hasn't been in the series for a couple of weeks. Comes back, and this is not the way he wanted to kick things off. Was it out of 3? It was out of 4. The rise number 25. That's a classic mistake.
So easy to do. You think you can carry so much speed through turn 4. It's a very fast right-hander, but you clip that sand on the exit, and it's just going to loop on you.
Nil Quick chasing down Mark Thomas. They have swapped spots in 2nd and 3rd, so drop car 2 down to 3rd. And Brian Rose and Kevin Blue still after it here for 4th and 5th. The field is rather spread out after just a few laps. In fact, 3 completed of an expected 34. That number will drop a bit. They are quick-fire laps here at Laguna Seca, but we will have that halfway break after about minute 20 or 21, 22, somewhere around there. And there'll be a full course yellow, bring these guys in, give them a chance to pit under controlled conditions, and then we'll head back out there. So that'll burn a couple of laps of time, but this is still going to be a decently long race, a good amount of laps turned.
Yeah, very short, quick, fast lap is Laguna Seca. Again, there's a couple of heavy braking points, but not many. You're able to keep the momentum and the speed up as we're going to look behind us, and you can see the elevation change through the corkscrew there. A beautiful view looking back at the corkscrew, and then again down through Rainy Curve heading into turn 10. Just a wonderful view looking back at the cars behind battling for position. But yeah, it's a very quick lap here. There's not really many heavy braking zones, but the braking zones are big enough to where you can get some good passing done. So these guys have been jostling around quite a bit here, and we expect that to keep up as some of these guys in the back, namely that number 6 machine, who is quite a ways back, but he's starting to catch the tail end of the field. When he starts to do that and make his way through, look for all of the passing to really kick off.
On board here with Kevin Blue in 5th place. I like our 2nd through 5th battle. This is really good. Only 3 seconds separating them, and they're all kind of separated by less than a second apiece, aside from the gap from Mark Thomas and Neil Quick. So maybe car 50 taking off, as I was about to mention the purple lap out of Andrew Locke, and Steve Singer, of course, had to make himself heard. Goes purple there, lap number 4. As he chases down Dylan Wallace and company, he's only 2.5 seconds back.
Yeah, really making quick work after he had to take the EOL at the start, which I think was a pit lane start at this track, and then also had to take a drive-through penalty. He's really starting to make his way back through the field. Some guys who've had some trouble, had some off-track moments, and he's already starting to catch them up to 9th already when starting 14th. So good recovery so far from Singer, but he's not going to be completely out of the woods yet. He's going to have to do the same thing again as we see the 72 off.
Carson Conway stopped here. He seems to have maybe gotten out of the car, which is not what you want to see in a position quite like this. That's rather precarious placement for car 72. And he'll now potentially get that car rolling. Does he have anyone coming up on him? You might be right. I didn't hear anything like he was trying to get the car rolling, but this is a precarious placement for car 02. Let's go back and see the issue for Carson Conway first. That's an interesting place to put a race car.
Yeah, just maybe overcooked it getting into the top of the corkscrew, just found the wall on that outside going right through is what I imagine happened.
Carolina boy having troubles in California. Let's route on board of car 72, see how he got there. A little deep and just kind of brings the rear end around a bit backwards there with the Corvette. Does he hit the wall? Just a little bit with that tire barrier. And, oh, hello, Andrew Locke. That was our leader taking an excursion through the corkscrew. And, oh, his nose. That's not what you want to see.
Wow, we wouldn't have even known what happened to Andrew Locke's speed had we not gone on board there. That's a big thing to see the leader going off there as well, kind of following Conway through the dirt there.
And he had no damage prior to this. I'd imagine the damage from the transition as he was
just
slow
locked.
there. Yeah, he just overdrove the corner, gets the damage with the transition back onto the pavement, and the nose of that car is definitely seen better days. Look at that.
Yeah, just that getting back onto the track and the elevation change and how steep it is right there in the dirt just put all of that damage on that car. As we see Singer improve on his lap, see McMullen go by, where McMullen's going to have trouble here, I believe, out of turn 11.
Yep. And he found himself parked against the pit wall, so this is kind of just a string of unfortunate events for 3 separate drivers. 2 of them in the same corner, and then this issue for Thomas McMullen. Just overdrove the corner, tried to get down into first or second gear, brought the rear end around. Really easy to do in a GT1 car.
Yep, just over-rotated. Luckily, he sat there waiting for guys to get by before he kind of looped and got it back going, but very easy to do, over-rotating the car to the center of the turn. And that seems to be something that I talked about with the Corvette earlier. The Aston seems to be more stable in that center middle part of the turn and off of the turn, whereas the Corvette may have some trouble there. And then that kind of just proves my point right there with the Corvette going around in turn 11.
Interestingly, it's a shorter wheelbase for the Corvette than the Aston Martin. I think that's the core of the stability issues for the Chevrolet. But here's a look at Andrew Locke, our leader. No rear damage. That rear wing is still intact, but losing some front downforce, certainly with the damage to the splitter and the nose in general. That's also going to impact airflow. It shouldn't be an issue. Temps aren't too hot here, and I'd imagine he'll be okay. It's not like he hit anything too hard, just kind of damaged the splitter on that transition. McMullen has brought the car into the garage, joining Will Hewitt and Cook Quick, as it looks like they're both out of this race. Will is 5 laps down already. Cook is 7 laps down, and neither one are near their car currently. Your closest battle on the racetrack here, Devin? Kevin Blue and Brian Rose.
Yep, Kevin Blue, Brian Rose, the battle for fourth here, as they're going to be. Oh, there's a quick. He's going to try now to break him into the corkscrew. A bit of a wheel lock up there, able to keep it on the track and try again, but that could have been Harry very quickly there as he looks to the inside again, not able to make it. He might have a better shot here at the entrance and maybe exit of turn 11. Get a good run down that front straightaway down into the Andretti hairpin.
Aggressive line there from Blue. And it's interesting. We've got 2 quicks in the race, of course, because they're family, obviously. But we've got 2 drivers with names that could technically be colors. Kevin Blue and Brian Rose. Now, Blue is definitely a color. Rose, you could absolutely justify as a color. It's going to be a shade of red, a shade of pink, whatever. And, there goes Brian Rose off the racetrack a little bit. Nice little excursion into turn 3. Gets a handle on it, gets back after it, but he does lose 4th.
Yeah, and that's something that we didn't want to see. We were looking forward to the big battle that was coming, but that battle was kind of ended very quickly with that excursion off after turn 2. Getting into turn 3. It looks like he just kind of tried to get on the gas a little too quickly, and it just got that rear end upset, had to catch it.
Looks like there's been a recent issue for Dylan Wallace, and yes, there has. Now, he had Steve Singer closing in, and I think had already given up the spot, but this will be a look at his issue over the corkscrew. Not quite what he wanted in that Corvette. Here's a look at it, and just way too much speed. Loops it around, and these are all textbook issues, very, very easy to do in these GT1 cars at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, you just don't realize, because it's a blind turn, you don't know where the apex is when you're coming up to the corkscrew. And sometimes you get it wrong, and that's exactly what will happen. But, yeah, it's really, really easy to do. You can't see the corkscrew. It's such a sharp elevation change. You don't see the turns at all until you're on them. So you tend to take a little too much speed in there. It really will cost you. A lot of guys really take it a lot easier in there just to be safe, to make sure that that's not the reason that they're going to end up losing the race. But another battle here kind of hasn't really dwelled down between these two. It looks like they're kind of staying right there together, even though the 89 had an issue before.
Yeah, Rose kind of went off track and I think got right back after it. He's got a car to chase now, and I find that helps me so much. whenever I'm on iRacing or any racing game, really, Forza even, whenever I've got a car to chase, it really helps me out, just hit my marks, and I think that's happening here for Brian Rose. Had that little mistake once he undercame a little bit of pressure and is now getting back after it, and you can see the effect it's having on Kevin Blue as well. A very shallow entry there to the corkscrew, and that's going to hurt him a little bit. I say that, but he got out of that corner pretty nicely and has gotten down to turn 10 a lot more quickly than the 89 car.
Yeah, good exit out of there, and he's able to get shot out a little bit, but under braking, it looks like he's taking very shallow lines into the turns. Not sure that's going to help him out under braking, but we saw them do that when he was going for the pass, and he's still doing that even after the pass. So maybe just a line thing that car just wants to do right now. But we look back here at Singer. He's slowly making his way up. He's only 26 seconds off the lead. He was almost, I think, 40, 45, 50 seconds off the lead when after lap 2, but he is really chomping down trying to get after these guys.
Singer now in position number 7, so he's gotten through half of the field and is only 5 seconds back of Mark Truxell, car number 5. Closing in very quickly. Now, it's these two for the championship, realistically. Brian Rose and company are a little too far back, but Singer and Truxell are going to settle this thing either here or next week at Sonoma. It's going to take some big issues, I think, for Steve. He's just looking so good. Now, granted, even if Truxell loses the spot, he's going to gain this spot effectively right back at the halfway break, and a problem for race leader Andrew Locke in turn 10. Wow.
Yeah, that's normally an interesting spot to go off. You normally don't see a lot of cars go off at that spot. Not sure exactly what happened, but he's going to continue. Yeah, he's going to continue to lose spot as the... Oh, no.
Kevin Blue goes off.
Kevin Blue goes around, yeah.
And Locke will get back up into third. Let's take a replay of this. This is going to be one of your more interesting replays of the day, I think. Race leader with troubles here in turn 10. And this is likely going to stem all the way back to the corkscrew. It's usually a chain of corners where you're either in rhythm or you're not. So we'll see here if Locke has any issues into the corkscrew. A little deep, but nails the first apex. Really smooth through there, actually. Turn 9. Has to get out of it a little bit early. And just wide. Wow.
Yep. Just caught the gravel there on the exit of turn 9. Rainy curve, and it... just loops you around. It's really easy to do, but normally you can catch that one pretty easy. The balance of the car right there is not so unstable, but then we're going to see here as Blue goes by that sharp entry, and the car just goes straight.
Well, a lot's just gone on in the front of the field. This turns the lead over to newcomer Mark Thomas. How about that for his first race in the series, leading things? And will likely take us to the halfway break here in a few moments. I mean, he's going to lead us to the caution. I actually cannot believe this.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas was doing pretty good. He was chomping into the lead of Locke just a bit. I mean, Locke had gotten out to almost a 4-second lead, and then Thomas kind of got it back down to about 2 seconds. So taking it about half of the time out of that lead, but just kind of equalized there for a couple of laps until that incident. What that also does is pulls Quick up into the number 2 spot. So even though Quick had some issues earlier with running with some guys and having to do some overtaking, he's able to get into that number 2 spot right now. So P2 for the number 2 car, as he still is about 5.5, 6 seconds back currently of Thomas. And then you're going to see what was the race leader way back there in the background. That is Locke trying to catch back up about 4 seconds behind Quick.
And what you saw on that graphic there on the bottom of the screen is that he's only been the second or third so far today. So pretty decent race so far for Neil. Keeping things nice and smooth, keeping things nice and quiet, which is what you want, honestly, in these kinds of races. Steve Singer just a second and change back behind Mark Truxell, and Mark Truxell's actually caught up to Kevin Blue as well. We'll see if he continues closing in. Truxell's motif this entire season has been just keep the car clean, make sure he's there at the end, and he's doing the same thing tonight, running in 6th, so a little further back of what we might want out of him, what we might expect out of him, but still pretty smooth as Singer starts to lay the pressure on.
Yeah, and this is the battle for the championship lead, so I don't think that Truxell will let him have it too easily. Plus, Truxell is also, again, trying to catch Kevin Blue right in front of him, so I don't expect that this is going to be easily handed over. This is going to be quite a battle, I would assume. But they're getting ever closer through the Andretti hairpin and off into turn 2.
You can see Kevin Blue in the distance. Brian Rose is another 4 seconds ahead of the 26, and it's another 3.5 from Rose up to Locke. As we hit 26.5 minutes to go in this race, the halfway break is coming quick. It's a matter of exactly when it gets thrown, I suppose. It should be about 25 minutes to go, which should be about the time that these guys get back around to the start-finish line. Maybe a little bit after that, actually, as lap times are sitting at 1:20 so far. And here we go. A small slip up out of Truxell. It's going to open up the door to opportunity for Steve Singer right up the inside, and Truxell will bobble there up over the crest, but he slots in right behind him.
And I thought that was going to be a little bit more of a battle, but unfortunately Truxell just got that kink. Turn 7, just got it a little bit wrong and was not able to maintain the speed up the Rahal straight. So relatively easy pass there for Singers. He moves on, sets his sights for 5th.
And as I mentioned, for car 5, it's just been a season of consistency, keeping himself clean, keeping himself safe, and it's worked out nicely. Put himself second in the standings, and being here for every race, that's big as well, of course. Collecting as many points as you possibly can is rather important in a championship like this. Singer now 2 seconds behind Blue. Does he get him before the break?
I'm not sure. It's going to be really close. Depends on when they do throw it. Maybe about 15 seconds to go. Again, Singer, the fastest car on the track, really trying to track down these guys, showing a lot of speed, but I don't think he'll get there so far. There's the yellow, yep.
So Mark Thomas, over the top of the hill, down the corkscrew. And he'll come around and collect our pace car. Jesse King and Jesse Redding had just swapped positions, actually. Here's King in the 9th spot, Redding in 10th. And everybody else has parked their car already. Is Redding. Nice little spin there. McMullen, Conway, Hewitt, and Cook Quick have all parked their car for the evening, as Mark Thomas will come around and collect the pace car. Or rather, the pace car will collect him.
Yeah, and fortunate there for the 721 machine. He's going to be able to come in and get some tires here after lighting them up pretty good there in the Andretti hairpin. But we've seen that quite a few times, so I expect I got a bunch of these fellas to come in, get new tires, refuel, everything like that. Go out here, give it another shot. I'm sure that Locke is going to want some redemption for the mistake that he made there in turn number 9. So look for him to be charging back through the field here, as well as Singer. Singer's going to, again, have to take the EOL and take a drive-through. So he's really going to have his work cut out for him again. But we saw a lot of speed there. He was able to almost get the 5th. He's going to have about that same amount of time. We'll see if he can make up a lot of spots in the second half.
So pit stops looming here. We've gone just about halfway. In fact, we've gone. Well, yeah, just about halfway, actually. Of course, our one caution, just one lead change in this race between Andrew Locke, and Mark Thomas, as Andrew spun in 9 and gave that lead up to Mark. We will take a step aside, go side by side, actually, during this quick break, as it's a nice little break for the drivers and us, Devin. It's actually quite nice in a race like this. Get a chance to reset, collect our thoughts, and get back after it, just like these guys on the racetrack. So, we invite you to, of course, stick along. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence. After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Just like that. I told you it'd be quick. It was quick. Right back to it. The virtual WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, and we rejoin you, of course, under caution. A change for the lead, though, in the pit lane, and this is pretty big. No tires for Kevin Blue, opting to keep those same tires on that car. I think that, honestly, is a good move. I know it might be a little confusing, and in stock cars, it would be confusing. Usually, you would definitely want to change these tires, but GT cars and road cars in general, they thrive with warm tires, and they are a bit difficult to drive on cold tires. So having these grippy tires that are broken in a little bit may actually really benefit Kevin, at least at the start of this run. That may change as the time wears on, but he'll be able to defend Ben over Mark Thomas. I like this move.
Yeah, it's a good move. If you want to get out front and get to that fresh air and be on the defensive instead of the offensive. But yeah, he's really going to have some fast guys behind him. He's really going to have to put up a good defense here. But like you said, those warm tires could be the make or break to keep him up there. Pretty much the only person that he's going to be fighting at the start of the race, at least, is himself. Just keep it on the track. We saw what happened when the leader can collect some of the dirt there. It can really go awry for you very quickly.
So welcome back to round number 9 of the Superior Class Auto Racing Grid Sports Car Challenge. Through the course of fall 2021 and winter of 2021 and 2022, and now I think reasonably into spring almost of 2022, a 10-round season, of course opening way back at Daytona in October, continuing on to Barber, Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, Watkins Glen, Canadian Tire, Montreal, Monza, and now Laguna Seca here in Monterey, California. It's up to Sonoma next week, and really rather close by. So if this was a real series, if this was a in real life IRL series, if you will, they would not have a very long tow. They would get a nice chance to chill up in the Bay Area for a week and get back after it. But of course, these guys, they stay active, including in the other SCAR series. In fact, their Cup Series runs on Tuesdays, and Steve Singer broadcasts it over on Hollow Boys TV. They've got a lot of great racing, and the big point of this series was to give them a place to develop their road racing skills, and that's why we've seen some mistakes. We see a lot of spills out of some of these guys, and of course, some of the road racing aces, they tend to do quite good in this series. But the pace car, the safety car, will work his way into pit lane. In just one moment, Devin turned the field back over to the drivers, and Kevin Blue will lead us to the green flag. Steve Singer will have to serve a penalty and come down the pit lane just because he's so darn good in these GT1 cars. So, down to turn 11 for the final time under this halfway break, and the field turns over to the safety of Kevin Blue. When does he get this race restarted? He should have to wait to green, I believe, and he does. Up the front stretch, waiting a long time here to get back rolling. When is he going to hit the throttle? Sometime here. He's going to go, I promise. No. Pace car lights turned back on, I think. Yes, we're going to have one more lap of yellow.
It looks like they weren't all set there in the back end of the field. It looks like some guys were still kind of shuffling around position. So another pace lap. What this does really do is hurt Singer a lot. He's not going to have as much time as he did on the first run to really make up the positions that he did last time. Again, he got around Truxell there, and that's really big for the point standing as far as where he is as compared to where Truxell is. He was able to clear Truxell last time. I'm not sure he's going to have as much time to do it this time around, though.
And with only 10 cars left on the racetrack, this is really working against Mark Truxell. He really needed to keep Thomas McMullen, Carson Conway, Will Hewitt, and Cook Quick in this race. Might want to bribe them to do so next week at Sonoma. Make sure they stick around as long as possible and even try and get some extra cars in the field just in case he can amass enough points to still be close to Steve Singer after this one. But Steve is just so good in these GT1 cars. It's so difficult to beat him, so difficult to put him down and to keep him from scoring max points in these races. He's been so good, obviously 4 wins in the season, most recently at Monza, if memory serves me correctly. He's just so good, just so good.
Yep, he's real good, and we've said it quite a bit. He makes the lap time so quick here. He's already set quite a few fastest laps of the race. I'd be surprised if he doesn't try to top that himself here. He's going to have a lot of track in front of him to catch these guys. Again, he will have to serve a drive-through, not just starting in the back, but the drive-through penalty as well. As we're getting ready, getting set, we should be all ready to go this time around. So yeah, let's get back to racing, shall we?
I like the sound of that as the field works down through turn number 10. And we'll get a chance to actually go green this time. Kevin Blue will take the reins on the field. Everybody nice and lined up, it looks like, as we get ready to go back green flag racing from Laguna Seca. Just waiting on the signal here, and this time we are officially green. Oh, Andrew Locke well out wide there. Dylan Wallace as well. Everybody works on through the Andretti hairpin. Down to turn number 3, Mark Thomas. Going to have an opportunity here to really put some pressure early on Kevin Blue. I think he's going to have to. Those warm tires on the 26 car, they had an extra lap to cool down, but they're still going to be a whole lot better than those cold tires, at least for a couple of laps here.
Yeah, but once those tires behind him catch up to temperature, he's really going to have to be on the defensive. He's not really pulling away too bad right now. That's something that Thomas behind him really wants to see. He wants to keep him as close as he can until the temps and his tires warm up. Then he can go on an attack and try and get around Blue as quick as possible, start pulling out to his own lead as we go through the corkscrew.
Andrew Locke, a quick pass there, and Brian Rose coming up to the corkscrew. What do you say we go on board with car 23? He's been so good today. He's been second best on the racetrack, one of 2 cars to drop into the 119s at a race pace. Steve Singer, of course, going purple earlier, was the other. Locke just had that mistake had turned on a while back, gave the lead up, and of course had the mistake in the corkscrew as well. So just a couple of big mistakes have given this race up currently, but has a great opportunity here to work his way back through the field. Took a faster pair, took tires, and is back after it.
Yep, he's got his work cut out for him, but he, again, a very fast car. He tends to take that very wide entry, kind of gives up the apex to the first half of the double apex Andretti hairpin, but really gets a good exit out of it. So he makes up a little bit of time there. And yeah, turn 3, again, very good line. We'll see here on the exit of 4. These guys getting a little dirt there. You don't want to do that. We saw what happens when you can kick up a little dirt in the exit of turn 4. But yeah, Kelly Blue kind of flirting with disaster on that one, able to escape though.
Andrew Locke going to have a look here on Neil Quick. And he's got it in turn 6. That compression is a little dangerous to pass in sometimes, but if you're experienced enough, if you know what you're doing and know how to place the car, is Brian Rose is around up the hill, up the Andretti, not the Andretti straight, the Rahal straight. That is a problem for car 89, and what that does do effectively is put Steve Singer back into position number 6 quite easily.
Yeah, it does. We saw him go by there, and he's already catching up to the people in front of him as well. So Singer not too far back. He's got right in
dangerous.
The traffic, and that's going to be a wreck.
Wow. Wallace got on the brakes there, locked it down, and kept it from being bigger than it needed to be. A little bit of contact there for the nose of the 6 car, but you can see there from the onboard, little damage, if any. Wallace, I think, might have gotten a little bit. They might have even stayed out of it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Steve Singer's got Code Brown right now. That was close.
Yep, that was almost the rear end of Singer's car. Man, it looks like that Corvette is really having trouble under braking, just not able to get the car slowed down without locking up the front wheels and just going straight on.
So let's look all the way back here for Brian Rose, actually, with his issue out of 6. He's just ahead of Wallace into 5. We can actually watch this from the onboard of the 14 car, see exactly what happens from his perspective. We'll come through turn 6, everything is looking nice and dandy. It just over-rotates the rear end there, does Brian Rose, goes around on exit, and then here comes Steve Singer. Looking for glory on car 14. Real close under braking there for the corkscrew. Singer backs it up big time. I really had to check up and bind up the rear of the car. And then we're going to have this battle up ahead with Kevin Blue coming up. Not Kevin Blue, rather. What was it, Neil Quick? Yeah, Neil Quick and Andrew Locke having some fun. Locke backs him up. I think had to give him some time potentially. And then you have all of this here in the final corner, and there is definitely no room between those two cars. I think maybe saved them from contact, but barely.
Yeah, great job to get out of it and get through there with really no big incident whatsoever. But yeah, Dylan Wallace, gonna see here into turn 1, turn 2, the Andretti hairpin. The car just goes straight, just no brakes right there. Really driving it in hard, but just no brakes to get the car slowed down.
So, Steve Singer up to 4th now. Got by Neil Quick while we were under that replay. That said, he's only got 11 minutes to go. It's going to be tough to work up 4.3 more seconds on the best cars in the field. Kevin Blue still leading, Mark Thomas second, Andrew Locke third, and this is where I think the advantage to those warm tires at the restart is really coming through for Kevin Blue, but he's got to keep it up. You see the late braking there from Mark Thomas just closed right in.
Yeah, Kelly Blue kind of got a bit out of shape there on the exit of the corkscrew, and it allowed Thomas to get right on his rear bumper. I expect Thomas to really set up his pass here, be smart about it, because he does have 2 fast drivers behind him in Locke and Singer catching up to them, so he's really got to be smart about when he gets this pass done, and I assume he's going to want to get this pass done as quickly as possible.
Kevin Blue defending to the Andretti hairpin actually stayed out wide on a racing line. Thomas showed his nose there in the mirror. And this is the best seat in the house right now, watching the entire field try to bear down on Kevin. 2 seconds the gap from Kevin Blue back to Andrew Locke. Another second and change back to Steve Singer, and then even more back to Neil Quick. 6th still held by Dylan Wallace. 7th by Mark Truxell. 8th by Brian Rose. And the first car 1 lap down is Jesse King. Joining him 1 lap down is Jesse Redding. That's your top 10. 4 cars out of the race. Those are Thomas McMullen, Carson Connolly, Will Hewitt, Cook Quick, as we stay on board with race leader Kevin Blue.
Yeah, you can really get a real good vantage of where Kevin Blue is better and where Thomas is better, especially under braking. It seems like Thomas way better under the braking points and on the exit of the corkscrew. However, he gives up the exit or the entrance there of turn number 9, Rainy Curve. And as they head into turn 10, you see whenever there's a braking zone, it seems like Thomas a lot better and closes up the gap quite a bit.
5 Aston Martins out front. Your first Corvette 6th, another Aston in 7th. And these two are going to be dueling here soon. I mean, it's not much longer before I think we see a move out of car 50.
He looks at it in the Andretti hairpin, not going to be there though, and there's an incident.
Oh my goodness, right back in front of Andrew Locke. That backs Locke right up to Singer. 3 cars now in a line. Thomas takes the lead back, and that was just a poorly timed downshift, I think, out of car 26. Throws the car into a tizzy, but gets a hang back on it.
Yeah, I believe you're exactly right. Just a little bit of a downshift, maybe a little too early, but he's going to have his hands full again as there goes Locke to the inside.
Singer! We talked about it earlier, that injury to the left foot may be impacting braking. Could he have done so there? Carried a little too much momentum into that corner and certainly had to back things up to keep from hitting Kevin Blue. Gets back on in 5th, though. Wallace does not come up to him for 5th.
Yeah, that's kind of minimizing the damage there. Only really lost 1 position. So unfortunate for Singer. He had worked so hard to get back up there, saw the leader. You know, he could definitely see Thomas out in front of his mirror there once Blue went around, but man, he just tried to make it stick there and follow Locke through and just was not able to do it, but he's going to have to work his way back up there. He does have Quick right in front of him, and Kelly Blue not too far up the road.
Roller coaster, I think would be the way to describe race 9 here for Kevin Blue. Started 4th, got up to 1st, as low as 6th, 8 laps led. just been all over. And that slide there, well, first he had the issue in the Andretti hairpin, then the battle with these guys into turn 5, trying to fend off Andrew Locke to give that spot up, then was trying to fend off Steve Singer, and Singer got loose to the inside of him. Another bad downshift, I think, potentially, or just carrying it. I don't know. Certainly had to back up that 6 car, and that's so tough to do in a GT1 car as well. These are predecessors, realistically, to modern GTE cars. And the big distinction in GT racing in 2022, at least on the top level, is GTE versus GT3, or as it was in IMSA, GTLM and GTD. We had GTE cars, and they're kind of phasing their way out, but they're pretty much the offspring of these GT1 cars that also died out. But they're relatively similar platforms. In fact, the Corvette GTD program is becoming GTLM program is becoming a GTD program, and already has. Very similar base. You take a street car, strip it down, go racing. That's the relative premise. It's more complicated than that, but as far as a driver standpoint, Devin, the biggest differences are some differences in the traction and stability control, and of course, ABS, anti-lock brakes. And GTE cars do not have them. GT3 cars, they do. These GT1 cars do not. They have pretty minimal traction, basically driver assist in general. They have pretty big aero devices, your front splitter and your rear wing. But they are highly powered, no ABS. Basically, go send it and see what happens.
Yeah, that's why you can see a lot of lockups in these cars. You don't have the brake bias set the way you need it. And each turn is different, so most of these guys you're going to see adjusting the brake bias throughout the race, for each turn, because in each turn they handle differently. You need more brake in one part of the other, depending on the balance of the car, and that can, if you get it wrong one time, you can really see some lockups on that front, and that's kind of what happened with that Corvette, the Red Bull Corvette we saw of Wallace. Just maybe got it wrong and just had a little bit too much front brake. It locks up the front tires and just goes straight on.
Looking at our race leaders as we come up to 5 minutes to go here, Devin. Do we think Locke gets there? Do we think this is a battle for the race win?
I believe so. Locke is kind of there. He's only about a half a second back. He's been really tracking in, especially after being held up a little bit by Blue when Blue went around here in the Andretti hairpin not too long ago. So he's really made up the time back. You can see he's gaining ever so slightly almost every single turn, and it just looks like Andrew Locke really has this win set in his sights. The only thing that's kind of preventing him is Thomas right in front of him, a newcomer here, and Thomas is not going to make it easy. I assume that in one of his first starts, if not his first start, he's going to want to take home this win.
It is a first start for Mark Thomas leading the race, a first start for Kevin Blue in third. So 2 podiums there, and a first start for Dylan Wallace as well, and he's done pretty okay. I know he's had some issues and has been a little off pace compared to the race leaders, but 6th place, top of half of the field is still pretty darn good, and outlasting plenty of drivers, including championship contender Mark Truxell. He's still a second and change ahead of that 5 car, so we'll see what Dylan Wallace can do at the back end of this one as we stay on board with Andrew Locke, and he's taking a much more aggressive racing line than Mark Thomas, and you'll see it here again from the onboard on the roof. This is where I really notice it. Turns 1, 2, 3, 4, that entire bunch, that entire first sector is so much more aggressive out of Locke. He's attacking this entire track way more than Mark Thomas is.
Yeah, he really is attacking these turns. You see he goes really wide into the Andretti hairpin and kind of gives up that first part, but really it's a great exit on the second part. Makes up a lot of time right there. Then especially in all these turns, you see he gets right up to that turtle, that little red strip, that turtle there. If you hit it, it can go very wrong for you. But the closer you get to it, the better your time is going to be on each lap, the more speed you're going to be able to carry. And it seems like he's able to get that car pretty much right on it every single turn, really attacking these corners and making up a lot of time.
This is a car track combo where you definitely want to soak up those curbs, those rumble strips. You do not want to hit the turtles. You want to soak up the rumble strips, as here we go. Locke takes a look at Thomas, gets real close into braking, almost contact, definitely contact, and he goes sideways a bit, hangs onto the race car. That's significantly going to impact the car of 23 of Andrew Locke here. That might have done it. I don't know that he gets back up there and challenges for a race win now.
It could be, but any mistake out of Thomas could put him back up there to give him a shot. Thomas, it looked like, locked up the brakes getting into the corkscrew, and that kind of made Locke have to lock up the brakes and avoid hitting him. So some courtesy there from Locke to avoid hitting the race leader, but unfortunately it kind of maybe lost his shot. As I say that, is now back down to only 0.3 seconds, so he's already right on the back of Thomas.
Thomas's misstep out of the hairpin definitely going to hurt him. Turn 3, and Locke is there on the inside of the corner, and he is going to take that spot away, it looks like, in turn 4, side by side between these two, staying side by side, and the launch is going to go to car 50. That outside line gives him the momentum rather to take it back down to turn number 5. Contact there. Oh, Mark Thomas will not like that.
Yep, he avoided contact the last time, and now you're kind of facing the wrong way. That's kind of scary view right there. But yeah, he kind of avoided contact on the corkscrew, but this time not giving away, about a minute and a half to go. So this time it's going for the win. I mean, Thomas broke a little early, and Locke did not give him any ground.
Certainly wasn't intentional contact, but I mean, he just hit him. I mean, he just absolutely drove through Mark Thomas, and you have to wonder then if race control gets involved in this post-race. Let's take a look back at it. But I mean, this is for the win. Locke out wide, just swings it into the corner, and Thomas definitely overran the corner, but you can't hit them. You cannot hit him there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what race control does. It looks like Thomas did with the short entry there, that shallow entry, kind of overran the corner, came back up in front of Locke. Locke running the more traditional entry.
Here we go.
Yeah. But, yep, there it is.
I don't think that's a penalty yet. It could be. But Locke gives up a lot of time in the hairpin. I mean, he went wide, overcooked it. That gives the win, potentially, to Kevin Blue. We might be on the last lap here. Oh, my goodness. That's definitely a penalty for Andrew Locke. He just, yep, that's frustration. Battles through the entire field, though. This is Jesse King actually being lapped by Neil Quick. Kevin Blue, Steve Singer, they're going to duel it out, Devin.
Yep, this is for the race win. 4 seconds left. We're going to come to the white flag next time by, I believe, if we haven't already hit it. Oh, we have.
Here we go.
Yep, so that's the white flag.
And a mistaken 6 for car 6. So Steve Singer a bit wide out of turn 6. Loses a lot of time here. This race. Wow. I can't keep up with it. Where's Mark Thomas? He's in 5th. He's 16 seconds back of these guys. And Kevin Blue, who was 3rd, made a mistake from the race lead, kept his old tires on. He's going to leave turn 11. He's going to win this thing.
What a race. Just keeping it clean in the second half of the stint for Kevin Blue. And he comes home with the race win. His first race, and he picks up the win here at Laguna Seca.
Wow. Singer goes 2nd. Neil Quick 3rd. Mark Thomas will come out of the final corner and go 4th. I simply cannot believe that. Andrew Locke, I think, definitely got a black flag, and frustration kind of boiled over.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. I was going to say there was a lot to dissect there over the last couple of laps. The incident with Thomas and with Locke there. He had Thomas and Locke, and then also with Locke being served the penalty, it looked like, having to give up position, and then just frustration again, bowling over, and that hands the win over to Mr. Blue here in the 26 machine, just keeping it riding, keeping it on the track for the most part. He had a couple of incidents, but at the end of the day, he gets the checker flag.
Unbelievable way to end race number 9. I'm actually in a bit of shock. I'm not often speechless. I mean, I get paid to talk technically, but what? That's the best way I can sum this up, is what?
Yeah, just a ton of things happened there very, very quickly. And, man, it looked like maybe Singer would have had it. He was kind of right on the back of Blue, and then made the small mistake there out of 6. Caught the gravel, was able to keep it going in the right direction, but just not able to catch back up to Blue. Congratulations, Blue here. He's going to pull it up and no burnouts. He just parks it. Makes it look nice and clean here on the front straightaway here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Well, if he's not going to do burnouts, this is a perfect opportunity to go back and get a replay of all of this. We've got to go a ways back, in fact, and see if we can catch the incident with Thomas. And, well, this is not quite far enough, it looks like. We've got to go back and get the incident with Thomas and Locke. I think that's what really starts all of this off, right? So we'll rejoin this replay. We've already seen it once, but here it is again. And Andrew Locke is just going to take a wider turn in. Thomas overcooks the corner, fair enough, but you can't hit him right there, and unfortunately that wrecks him as well, or at least spins him around and, I mean, completely ends Mark Thomas's race in comparison to what he was going for. From a win to back there, and he was going to finish 5th or 6th, and yeah. Now, I am surprised to see a penalty in race potentially for Andrew Locke. I did not expect that, but it seems that may have come in race.
Yeah, we see him. He's going to back off quite a bit here in a second, and he lets Blue and Singer go by. And then once that happens, you see kind of a frustration mounting. It looks like, I think it's going to be on the next lap is when this happens.
Yeah, this is all coming to white flag. That was 2 laps to go with our race leaders of Thomas, and you can see he's already slowing down, actually. You can hear it.
Yep, there he's slowing down. That's a quick decision, too. For the race admins here. And
I wonder as well if this
Blue.
was maybe for, and you can see Blue checks up. He doesn't know what's going on. I wonder if it's frustration out of Locke. Maybe knew he was going to get a penalty and didn't want to take the win that way. I don't know. This is just such a bizarre way to end race number 9 at Laguna Seca. And Locke is just going to chuck it into the barriers here in a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he just drifts it off, goes straight in.
And then this happens with Singer up ahead. I thought he had the perfect opportunity here to battle for the race win. He had given Blue going after it. Singer's been the best car all day. Has a chance. The win is a half second in front of him. Cooks it into turn 6 and just goes wide. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to get that good exit to get a great passing opportunity getting up towards the corkscrew and just overstepped it there. You saw the car kind of just get out of whack, out of sorts. And it came out of the turn and into the gravel, and that slowed him way down.
Well, if that doesn't get you excited for what might come at Sonoma next week, I don't know what will. In fact, we're going to the NASCAR course as well. The old NASCAR course, well, I guess the new course turned old course turned new course again with the cut through basically that skips the carousel. That's going to be a lot of fun next week. I'm very much looking forward to that. And we'll see if Kevin Blue turns up next week and maybe gives these guys another run for their money. I'm still in shock. I really thought, at first I thought he was going to win this race, keeping the old tires on it, just getting fuel. Then I thought, no way. He made his mistake. He's done for. That's it. Written out of the win. And just needed the mistake. The contact between Locke and Blue, or Locke and Thomas, rather. And is going to have himself a race win at the end of the day. We will take a step aside. We will get ready then for post-race interviews. And we've kind of drone on a little bit in this post-race already with some replays. It's not really normal for us, but we will still take a step aside and be ready momentarily for some post-race interviews from race number 9. This has been a wild season, and it keeps getting more and more wild. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is PitStop TV with coverage of the Superior Class Auto Racing Grid Sports Car Challenge. It's been wild.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to post-race coverage from round number 9. For the Superior Class Auto Racing Grid Sports Car Challenge, GT1 cars all season long have been a dream to witness. They've been just fantastic. Doesn't matter what track we've gone to, Monza most recently, now Laguna Seca, Sonoma next week. It's all been so much fun all season long. It started way back at Daytona in October, and now we are, as I just mentioned, at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's been fun, Devin. I was glad you were along with me. Usually JP Costa in the booth, but certainly don't mind a change of pace. It wasn't a change of pace, really, for Steve Singer. He's not in the winner's circle, not in victory lane, but still on podium. That said, upset by Kevin Blue this evening. Somebody brand new to the series. We don't know anything about this guy yet, but that means we get to talk to Kevin Blue and find out a bit about him. Kevin, first off, congratulations. Secondly, I like the pit move, but after that mistake in the Andretti hairpin, did you ever think you'd get back up to the top spot?
Man, it was like the oceans parted for me there. I mean, it was nuts. I was talking to Jesse, my Lone Star racing teammate, in Discord, and I was like, yeah, he was like, man, you can catch these guys. I'm like, there's no way I'm catching these guys. And it just so happened that everyone just kind of went off and ended up first place. It was crazy last lap.
Now, what was the mistake for you in turn 2? Was it just a bad downshift, bad timing, or what?
Yeah, I always take that turn in second, and for some reason, I just dropped it in first. For some reason, I have no clue why, just a mistake, and ended up taking it around. And luckily, I was able to get going a little bit quicker. I don't know. I was trying not to hit anybody. I don't know if I ended up hitting anybody or causing anybody to wreck there, but I did everything I could to get back on the track. But I'm glad I did, because that's awesome to be able to come in here and race with Steve and S-Car and take home a win. That was awesome.
Obviously, things completely changed for you multiple times in the last 5-10 minutes. When did you realize you were going to take the race lead on the final lap? And what was that like coming up to a very slow Andrew Locke after he started to run away with this race?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Earlier on, I had a couple opportunities to pass a few people, but it didn't really work out for me. But I don't know what happened with him. I just know that coming around the turn there before the corkscrew, Mark was in the middle of the road. I thought I was just going to head on crash with him. I was just praying that he wouldn't move, but yeah, it just kind of worked out. That might have slowed Steve down a little bit too. I knew he was right on my tail, and I know Steve's quick because me and him were Daytona 24 teammates this year, and he always put down the quicker laps than me. So I knew it was going to be tough to beat him today. I know he's good at coming from the back and winning, obviously, but yeah, it all worked out, man. It was awesome.
And you mentioned the other series here at Superior Class Auto Racing. It sounds like you got more experience with them. Where do you fit into this whole piece of the puzzle? I know there's the Cup Series on Tuesdays. I'm sure there's more racing throughout the week. Tell us about yourself.
I actually don't race with them. I only know them through Steve. And like I said, Steve, he's got HBR, and he was my Daytona 24 teammate. So I'm affiliated with Lone Star Racing. I'm on Lone Star Nation. And whenever these races come around, he'll always hit us up and see if some of us want to come over and race. And I couldn't do Monza last time. I did this one. I told him, I was like, I'm pretty good at Laguna. It's one of my favorite tracks. So yeah, I'll definitely do it. But I guess it worked out, man.
That was clearly a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quick tonight. Best of luck to you then at Sonoma next week. Can't wait to see how you do.
All right, thank you.
That's Kevin Blue finishing up on the top step of the podium tonight, Devin. Just wild. I really still can't believe that Car 26 got to park it in victory lane this evening after that sequence of events. It's just absolutely insane, but hey, he grabs the win just ahead of this guy, car number 6, Steve Singer.
Yeah, we're going to bring up car number 6, Steve Singer. He had a rocket ship under him, it seemed, from the onset. Just not able to have it done today. Just needed maybe a little bit more time, Steve. How did the car feel? How did you feel about that race?
Well, all week long in practice, the thing felt way better than it did today. I don't know if track temperatures were up or what the case was, but I did a lot of playing with brake bias this afternoon, just trying to get the thing to get into the corners. I brake pretty deep. And where I had it set initially, it was no problem getting into the corners, but for race conditions today, it was real loose in the back, getting into the corner. So I had to play with that a little bit. Wasn't super comfortable. I made some mistakes. I got off the track a few times, made contact with some guys. It wasn't a pretty finish. Somehow I still end up here in the second spot, but we'll take it.
Yeah, you mentioned the braking there. It seemed like there was a couple of guys who kind of maybe got it wrong. Kind of walk us through that braking mentality. We know that you're having you had a little bit of a foot injury. Kind of walk us through how you were braking with that injury. Did it impede you at all? And also, did it impact your finish at all in any way?
Well, it hurts the most in practice when it really doesn't matter because it's all you can think about. Man, every time I hit the brakes, this hurts. I won't get into the specifics on how I injured it necessarily, but it happened to be in the exact pressure point where I pushed down on the brake pedal. So I had to definitely make an adjustment there. But as the race went on, my heart rate came up. I guess I just didn't notice it as much. It may have affected the braking for me. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. It was a good race. I mean, we got through it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And you still maintain the points lead going into the last race of the season. Again, we expect you to have quite a big hot rod for that one as well. You do have those penalties that come along with the good finishes that you've been getting them. How are you going to navigate it next week to take home this championship?
Well, the good news is I didn't win today, so those penalties go away. So it's basically after each win, they take the total number of penalty or total number of wins that you have and kind of add up what your penalty is going to be. We've only put rules in for 4 wins, so luckily we didn't have to figure out how my penalty was going to be next week because I finished second and I can just run and do what I need to do next week.
Well, that sounds good. Sets you up for a good championship winning car, possibly. We wish you luck the rest of the way. I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor right now. Shout out whoever you got to shout out for putting that Aston Martin in second place tonight.
Well, Superior Class Auto Racing for certain. Grid Engineering by SimLab. They're a sponsor of the series itself. Certainly appreciate their help with Andrew helping me out with road course stuff, and Brandon Cocker helping me out with the sponsor side of things. So I certainly appreciate their help. Popple, Two Blessings Thrift Shop, Castle Products, and Holler Boys Racing TV as well.
That sounds great, Steve. We'll see you next week for the final here at Sonoma and in the same state, California. We wish you luck the rest of the way. Go get the championship, my friend.
Thanks, man.
And it's definitely looking like he will grab that championship in 1 week's time. Obviously, only time will tell, but with a finish 3 positions higher than Mark Truxell, with the existing points advantage and no penalties next week at Sonoma, yeah, it's looking pretty good for car number 6. We'll move on down one more step of the podium, though, to Neil Quick, who we've not spoken with yet. I don't think we've talked to either Quick driver yet, but Neil, first off, welcome to the booth. Secondly, welcome to the podium. 3rd place this evening with a lap lead. It's got to feel pretty good in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. For a guy that's used to making a lot of left turns, this was fun to do with these guys, and just getting faster, learning the road course stuff.
And I'd imagine some of these circuits maybe you're seeing for the first time. I know you joined the series back at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Was that your first experience at Montreal? Was that your first experience at Monza last week? And how about even here at Laguna Seca?
Bought the track earlier today. Actually, I think I had this track. I just never drove it.
I was going to say, it'd be pretty impressive if you bought a free track that's included with the iRacing service, but I guess that tells what we need to know about you here at Laguna Seca. So what were the kind of challenges then, learning a track that obviously you'd never turn laps on?
Well, let me take that back. This afternoon, I did run about 20 laps on it. So before we raced, I did run 20 laps before getting used to it, because God only knows, I think a couple times with the corkscrew, I was on my lid, so... but it was fun to get to learn it, and like I was telling Steve and the other guys in the league racing with these guys, road courses are fun to do for me. I run a lot of stock car stuff, and I look forward to all the road courses in those leagues. But yeah, it was fun to learn, and still got a lot to learn. I know these guys are out breaking me in several different areas, but definitely a challenge and fun to be there, and like to make the podium. It's a good thing.
We mentioned pretty often that this is a development series for the other oval series that SCAR runs. How important is it then to get this, I think, pretty harsh road course experience in a very difficult car to drive with the new advent of the next-gen cars that I think are a lot more similar, certainly, to what you're driving this evening, and obviously more road courses to come with NASCAR as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of this carries over and makes me better with that car. But overall, in general, I know I did get to do the in my road course phase that's been kicking up lately. I did do the 24 hours in the LMP2 cars and enjoyed that. So I can see me doing a lot more of this with different road course cars and different things out there. But this is an absolute blast and a challenge. And there's only so many left turns you can make, I guess.
Well, it was definitely a lot of fun watching you this evening. A lot of fun back at Montreal and Monza as well. Since this is the first time I think we're talking to you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Neil Quick, and why do we need to know about you going into next week at Sonoma? Do you get a win then, maybe?
I think we're off a little bit with these guys as good as they are. I'd love to say that I'd be there competing for a win, but I think it could be a couple more weeks or maybe a month or so. Just learning, picking up, and practicing with Steve and these guys. I think a little bit away from that, but hopefully soon. And I've been doing iRacing for a while, and again, primarily a lot of oval track stuff, a lot of the next gen cars, A, B, and C stuff. So, but really having a lot of fun. Steve offered to let me run with this deal, and the Montreal deal was fun to get to run, and the week after that, doing the 2 weeks after that, doing the Monza track, I had absolutely no practice, so kind of embarrassed myself there a little bit. But getting on this afternoon, trying this, and excited to make the podium and get to talk to you guys. So having a lot of fun with it.
Well, then at least Sonoma should be a little more familiar for you oval guys that don't get a whole lot of these road courses under your belt, especially with that course we're running one next week. Running the Old Cup course, the shorter course. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Neil, we're looking out for you. You better go ahead and get another podium next week. We're counting on it for car number 2, but best of luck to you next week.
Yeah, I'd like to give them hell at Sonoma next week and shake up things a little bit. But thank you guys. I'd like to thank my sponsor, R&R Racewear, and of course, family let me have time to do this. So.
There you have it, car number 2, position number 3 this evening. Maybe he improves on that next week. Devin, really good to get to talk to him finally and meet at least one of the quicks. Maybe Cook joins him on the podium next week. Who knows? But let's go ahead and look through our unofficial race results for now. I really do wonder if these ones prove to us why we say unofficial all the time, because this could honestly still change, but this is how things are for now. Kevin Blue with the race win. I don't think that's going to change at all. Steve Singer second place. Neil Quick rounds out your podium.
Yeah, and Mark Thomas, unfortunately, he got that bump on the next to last lap there. He's going to bring it home in 4th. Mark Truxell, not the night that he wanted, brings it home in 5th, and Dylan Wallace will bring it home 6th.
And what I find so interesting about this top 10, 4th and 5th, Mark and Mark. 9th and 10th, Jesse and Jesse. For a field with 14 cars, we certainly got a couple of duplicates that finish right near each other. As you see, Brian Rose, Andrew Locke, Jesse King, and Jesse Redding bring up the back end of the top 10. Redding, it looks like, not quite finishing the race, 9 laps down. You flip over to page number 2 here, and it's a lot of the same story for a lot of these guys. McMullen, 25 laps down. Conway, 26 down. Will Hewitt there, 29 down, and Cook Quick ends this race, 31 laps down. I say ends this race. None of them ended the race. None of them finished their race, but unfortunately having early exits, which then has us looking forward to Sonoma next week. Devin, of course, it's going to be a situation a lot of these guys are a lot more familiar with on the shorter Sonoma course. Obviously, NASCAR has run there many a year, only recently going to the longer course with the carousel, but now going back to the shorter course later on in the summer of 2022. They've moved around a whole lot, but I like the course that we're going to run a whole lot better.
Yeah, it's a fun course. It's a shorter course. You don't have that carousel portion in the middle. Like you said, you got what they call the short chute. And that short chute actually provides for a great overtaking spot. So if you can get a good exit from the turn previous, I believe it is turn 4, down into turn 5, that short chute ends up being a very, very good passing opportunity. And then you hit quickly into those S's, and you can really make up some space there. So yeah, a very fun racetrack in Sonoma, one that like you said, these guys will be familiar with running normally the NASCAR schedule. Sonoma is normally on there. So I look forward to watching it. If I'm not here with you, maybe JP will be back. But either way, I look forward to watching it and see if Steve can really break home this championship. It looks like it is all but wrapped up. But you never know what can happen, especially at road courses.
And looking forward to the rest of the broadcast this week on PitStop TV. It's a bit of a lighter week. We don't have 2 BSR broadcasts in there. They just wrapped up their season at Bathurst, and I know Chris Knox is out in the chat. He's one of those Brits. In fact, I want to say Scotland or Northern Ireland. I know they told me over the weekend, but I don't know. He's around there somewhere. It's all the same to me. But Chris watching at 3 in the morning. Devin, you brought Chris Knox to the broadcast. How does that make you feel?
Great. We appreciate all the viewers there, especially for any race that we put on here at PitStop TV. And there's going to be some great racing going on for the rest of the way there. You got the Tuesday night there to Long Beach, the North American Racing League taking to that very narrow track in Long Beach, California. Wednesday night, I'm going to be on the call with Emerson Arden for the Outlaw Sim Series at Auto Club. Getting back to my normal specialty, which is all the left-hand turns, very wide, fun track there in the next generation NASCAR at Auto Club. And then, of course, at the same time, the IORL Series, International Online Racing League, they will be again at Long Beach, California, a week of California here for all of us. Again, that Long Beach circuit, very quick, but also very narrow, a very fun street circuit where any little mistake can cost you big. And you can catch all of that on our social media channels, the facebook.com/PitStop TV, Instagram.com/Pit_Stop_TV, the Twitter.com/PitStop TV _ and then youtube.com/C/PitStop TV1. You can also catch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV.
That was a fantastic rundown. I didn't expect the whole thing out of you there, but good stuff there, Devin. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this full week of California racing. Now, I claim California as my home state, technically born in Arizona, but grew up really in California. And boy, I'm excited that we're getting a lot of these Californian racetracks, you know, on the same week as I turned 22. I appreciate it big time. Had Laguna Seca tonight. We have Long Beach Tuesday and Wednesday. That's pretty darn cool. 2 days in a row. And throw in Auto Club at the same time as that second Long Beach race. And you know what? We've got a very diverse week of cars as well. GT1, Porsche Cup, GT3 Cup cars. Then NASCAR Next Gen cars at Auto Club, which sounds like it's going to be a blast, or a Loop Fest, one of the two, maybe both, we'll see. And then Indy cars back on the channel with the International Online Racing League IORL coming to us for season 13. So very diverse set of race cars. And if you count the ones that we had last week of BSR, of course we had Mazda MX-5s and touring cars, and that's going to continue for season, I guess, number 2 of 2022 with them. So yeah, I like the diversity that we've got going on here, at least in car choice for these leagues with PitStop TV as of late, and it's only going to continue. So those social links that you can still see down there, and Devin called out, yeah, a whole lot of great reason to tune into PitStop TV and follow along with us. It's going to be a fun 2022, I think. That will do it, though, for us this evening at PitStop TV. As usual, a big thank you to our partners, of course, Tucson Sound Art and the whole lot of them. Tucson Sound Art does a whole lot for us. Check their website out, TucsonSoundArt.com, as well as PermanentMakeupInMaine.com. Permanent Makeup in Maine. They support us big time as well. We need, maybe a dollar here, dollar there, whatever. Of course, they do help support us, and also just help support us just because they're our partners. I mean, just having that name, Permanent Makeup in Maine, is certainly a big deal to us, and being able to help give them a little bit of exposure back as well is always nice on social media. So we certainly recommend checking them out. Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine on Facebook. They have an Instagram as well. I know we've done some combination posts with them, some collaboration posts. That's what I'm looking for from back around Thanksgiving. It was really cool, actually, in November to kind of tour their sites and tour their offices. Very, very cool stuff that they've got going on. Of course, Whiplash Media and Whiplash Media SimCams. A lot of great things going on there. Check out Whiplash Media on Facebook for a bit more information on how to order your SimCams today. And, of course, BAM Racing videos, doing a lot for us with some select B-roll like North Wilkesboro. So if we get North Wilkesboro get back on any schedule, you're going to see a nice piece put together made possible only by BAM Racing Videos. That has been round number 9, though, and this has been WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all of PitStop TV, myself, Andrew Cardona IV, and Devin Zimmerman, yes, on the broadcast tonight, but everybody else who makes these things happen, Emerson Arden behind the scenes, Trey Shuttlesworth, JP Costa, of course, Ed Schurer, a great social media guy, brand new to the channel still, and is learning so much. Jay Cook has helped us a lot out here in 2022. So many names that could go on for so long. Eric Brennan, Caleb Gladney still on that fold as well. It's been a very, very fun start to the year. You better go ahead and strap in and get ready for this ride that the year is going to be. We thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We hope to see you next time out, in fact, Tuesday, with the North American Racing League Porsche Cup Series at, I gotta think about it, yes, Long Beach, that's right. We hope you're there. We hope to see you there. Hope you enjoy it. And until then, good night.